And let's talk about the Browns signing linebacker Jordan Hicks. Last year played for the Minnesota Vikings, previously played for the Philadelphia Eagles, and has experience with Jim Schwartz in the past. So Jordan Hicks comes in, and it looks like the Browns are signing him to a 2-year deal, $8 million, $4 million a year. Now, whenever we were talking about linebackers for the Browns, let's just take stats and all that kind of stuff off the table for just a moment. We'll dive into that in a sec. But when we were looking at linebackers, and if you guys watched my linebackers episode talking about the state of the Browns for 2024, Patrick Queen just got signed by the Steelers. And actually, hold on one second. Let me pull up and see what he made with the Steelers. Okay, so it turns out Patrick Queen signs for a 3-year, $41 million contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Comes out to just a little over $13.5 million a year annual average salary. So that's just not the kind of money Andrew Berry and the Cleveland Browns front office is going to spend at the linebacker position. We already have our own linebacker on the roster who's going to command, a higher annual salary, a higher cap number than what the Browns are, historically willing to spend at that position with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He's going to need a contract here soon. And if the Browns want to keep him around, we're not going to be spending 10, 11, 12, 13 plus $million a year on another linebacker. So a guy like Patrick Queen, I had that. Somebody asked me on Twitter, what do you guys think about Patrick Queen? I think he's a great player. Awesome. He would be sweet in our defense. Not going to happen. Way too expensive. Apply that same thought process and methodology toward any linebacker who's going to be more than what the Browns paid for Jordan Hicks. So with Anthony Schwartz out the door signing in Miami, the Browns bring in Jordan Hicks. Personally, I think it's a great move. I think that we talked a ton. I did, again, in the linebackers episode, talking about Anthony Schwartz, the impact that he had on the defense, his leadership, his center field ability, the leader of that defense with the green dot, all that good stuff. Being in the middle there, holding that down, being a great tackler, and just communicating, commanding the defense from that position. And the problem with Anthony Schwartz was the problem that we've had for 3 seasons with him was injuries. And, the Browns decided not the guy they want to bring back, which I talked about that as well. I wouldn't bring him back either. Nothing against him personally. I think he's a great player, great guy. I just think the time has passed for him with Cleveland, and they felt the same. And it's really good to see that on day one of free agency, the Browns address this middle linebacker position. They're not messing around. They know the importance of having a proven guy in that position without having to spend a ton of money. So you've got a guy now, Jordan Hicks, and I'm sorry, I know I said Philadelphia before that. So he started his career in Philadelphia back in 2015. Looks like he played his rookie contract in Philly, went and played in Arizona for 3 years after that, and then Minnesota the last 2 seasons. So he's 31, going to be 32. So he is an older linebacker on a 2-year deal. You're going to see him play out this season, and then we'll see what ends up happening next season. I'm not sure how the contract is structured. Honestly, with any of these guys, I don't really know how the contracts are structured as far as what their dead cap hits are going to end up being next season. Is this a 2-year deal with an out after the first year? We'll see how all that breaks down. But Jordan Hicks, over 100 tackles the last 5 consecutive seasons, and the season before all that, he was at 91. So this dude is a tackling machine. Just looking through his game logs, early in his career with Philadelphia, looks like, he only played 8 games, then he played a full season of 16, then he only played 7 games. And then after those first 3 years, it's been 12, 16, 16, 17, 17, 13 last year. So, the pie in the sky for any player in the NFL is to say, I want a guy who's going to be on the field all 17 games. But a realistic person understands that the NFL is not the type of sport. This is not the league where the majority of guys play every game. If you're a starter on a team, you're playing a ton of snaps, a lot of meaningful snaps in a starter's role, odds are you are going to get injured at some point. Now, a lot of guys are able to play through injuries, and we always say there's a difference between playing hurt, playing injured, being hurt, being injured. These guys are hurt all year. These guys are hurt all year. Every day there's something. With every player that plays, they are hurt. Now, injuries creep up. Obviously, as Browns fans, we know that. We live that life in 2023. So to see a guy like Jordan Hicks come in, and he's got pretty much, for the most part, full seasons in his last 6 NFL seasons. That is encouraging as a Browns fan to know that he's coming in to be that middle linebacker, and he's a sure-handed tackler. I mean, you know, and the thing is, not huge sack numbers, not huge tackle for loss numbers, but guess what? Neither was Anthony Walker. Anthony Walker's there to hold down that middle and make the tackle, and that's what Jordan Hicks does. Leave the tackles for loss, the potential sacks and all that stuff for a guy like JOK. That's where he specializes, and the Browns understand that. We're not trying to go out and get a player that can do it all, be the leading tackler, the leading sack getter outside of Myles Garrett, the leading tackle for, like, we have guys to play specific roles, and Jordan Hicks is coming in to play a specific role, and I think it was a very, very good signing by the Browns. So I'm excited to see him reunited with Jim Schwartz on the Browns defense, and I think he'll be fun to watch. I do expect the Browns to draft somebody else, a middle linebacker, to maybe step in and play some meaningful snaps this year, at least develop and grow, because, again, Hicks will be here this year, maybe next year too, but that'll be it because he'll be 33, 34, and it'll be time to move on from him. So for 2024, this was an excellent signing in my opinion, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Like I said, reunited with Jimmy Schwartz.